My mom admits she resents me for needing therapy when she started blending our family with her husband's, and I told her it was her job to help her kid. AITAH?
Posted by Calderune.
My dad died because of his seizure when I, 17 male, was 6. My mom and I were there for the whole thing, and it was traumatic. Mom started dating again a year later, but she didn't meet her husband until I was 9. They dated for something like 5 months before they started doing stuff with me and his kids. I struggled hard with him and his kids' presence. For me, the hardest parts were changing things so that we had time for them and including them in the family. It bothered me worse when Mom wanted my paternal relatives to get to know them and treat his kids like they were more grandkids and cousins. For me, that showed in really weird ways. I wasn't sleeping good and having bad dreams. I was losing focus in school, and after a while I would puke whenever we were supposed to spend time with them. It wasn't intentional either, but I would get so worked up I'd puke a ton. My mom talked to me about it, and I got mad about her letting them take over our life, and I told her I hated how much we saw them, and I didn't want that, and they weren't my family, and they needed to stay away from Dad's family and stuff like that. Mom walked away and didn't address it for weeks. I don't know how long it was exactly, but she was distant for weeks, and then she said she had decided to send me to a therapist. I did a few sessions alone with the therapist, and she included my mom in 2, and then went back to just me. She spoke to Mom a few times and gave me a heads up in advance and asked if it was okay to share things I had said. I was fine with that, so she went ahead and did that. Over 2 years, I talked about a lot of stuff with the therapist and with my mom. I did different kinds of homework, and eventually Mom moved in with her husband and married him. She stopped trying to involve my step-siblings in my dad's family, and I stopped resenting them existing in our space at all. Mom agreed to doing one-on-one time with me and doing things to remember Dad on his birthday and Father's Day, but she never did those things. I agreed to spend time with her husband's kids to try and get along better, and I did for a while, but I stopped after a few months. Those things meant we lived together without fighting, but we didn't blend either. I accepted her husband and his kids were with us now and technically a part of the family, but I didn't work on developing relationships with them individually. For the last 2 years, my mom has been open about resenting me because I needed therapy. She said she feels like it was a waste of time because we never blended. But she admits to resenting me for not just being happy for her and being an easy kid who was happy to have more family and embraced it without the added stress. I ignored her when she said those things for a long time, because her side of the family would address them and remind her I wasn't her, and as a parent, it was her job to make sure I was doing okay. The other night, she got really resentful after one of her husband's kids said something about not really knowing me. My mom asked me what she did to deserve the difficult kid and the kid who needed therapy and couldn't be happy that his mom found love again. She told me I delayed her relationship because she had to do the right thing, and it didn't matter anyway because I stopped giving them a chance. I told her she broke her promises to spend one-on-one time with me and make time for us to remember Dad. She told me those were very different things, and I was making excuses. I told her it was her job to help her kid, and resenting me for needing that help is shitty, and to still resent me for it is even shittier. Mom told me that wasn't supposed to be my reaction, and I'm supposed to feel bad for the stress I caused her and the delays to her finding happiness again. AITAH? Alarmed audience. You're not the AH. Your mom is not only the AH, but she is very selfish and delusional. You were the kid. She, as the parent, should have been the one to be more understanding of your feelings and not rushing into things. You can blend with your stepfamily, but you can also keep your father's memory alive. I'm so sorry your mom has not been more supportive of you. Once you turn 18, I would distance myself from your mom until she can grow up. Why does her happiness and feelings matter than her own child? It's not fair. Good luck. OP response. My mom thinks her happiness and feelings should have come first because of how traumatic Dad's death was. My aunt and my grandpa pointed out it was traumatic for me too, and she wasn't the only one that watched Dad die. We both did. But Mom thinks her feelings mattered more around that because she was older and knew what was happening. I wasn't so young it was scary, but I didn't really understand it all either. That's still a huge trauma for me though. Acrobatic stay carry. NTA. Ask your mom if she's the only one allowed to find happiness. She chose her new husband. You didn't. She is selfish and wrong. Talk to your father's family. Ask them if they can take you in. Hell, ask your mother's family also. You also deserve to be happy. Send your mother this post. Ask her to give her reasons for rejecting the therapist deal. Why can she just blow it off, but you must blend for her happiness? What about your happiness? Update me. Lanky Illustrator comments. You're not the AH. I am very sorry that your mother doesn't recognize how she hasn't supported you and helped you remember your dad. You can leave home hopefully soon and start your life and choose who you wish to be close to. Best of luck. Awesome Forky comments. You're not the AH, and the last paragraph made your mom one of the shittiest people alive. You weren't supposed to react that way. You were supposed to feel bad, guilt-tripping level 1000. Holy shit, that is manipulative as fuck. All the other people here, including you and her side of the family, are right. She had a job and she fucked up, and that's only on her and no one else. I hope you can distance yourself and move out there as soon as possible. I wouldn't want to live with a person like that. Hidden Vixen 21. You didn't cause the stress. She did because she didn't follow the suggestions and agreements that you made with your therapist. She ignored professional advice. She didn't help you work through your feelings. She caused herself stress. Starby Netter. You're not the AH. She should have been putting her child, who also went through the trauma of seeing their dad die, first. She should have been a parent instead of expecting you to be the adult. She has no right to be resentful when she didn't bother to care about anyone but herself. What a self-centered birth giver. She hasn't been a mom. She's a birth giver and required by the state caregiver. And you're welcome to let her know there are other moms out there who have no use for her useless and worthless behavior.